Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Heroes of the Storm. It's going to be a quick match, quick build idea. Something that I've been working on a little bit in my own spare time. I have a couple of quests I want to work through today. Warrior, play through games as a warrior, play through games as support, those contradict. So I'm going to go warrior and Warcraft hero. That would be ETC, Elite Tauren Chieftain, the power of the Horde incarnate, by brutal rhythms and blistering guitar riffs. Basically, he is a melee warrior. He's kind of a tank, but he can be tanky if you build him right. He's got some different abilities at his disposal. Power Slide, which you actually dash across the map, and anybody you pass through, you stun and damage them. Face Melt. It's really good knockback and area damage.
Stay away.
Thank you very much, ETC. It's a quick area knockback and stun that has a lot of different purposes for zoning or for just, pushing somebody back into the enemy team or back into your team. Guitar Solo is to regenerate health. This is going to have multiple purposes long term. We'll be using this a lot. Rockstar is a passive trait. After using any ability, ETC and nearby allies temporarily gain an attack speed buff. This is actually going to have a lot of different uses long term. Now, there's two different heroics he's got, Mosh Pit and Stage Dive. Mosh Pit is a point-blank AE. It stuns nearby enemies, forcing them to dance. This has to be used if you're in a coordinated team. I firmly believe, because if you're doing pugs like I do, pickup groups, it's really hard to find somebody that can cue in on the timing for Mosh Pit, which is why I usually go to Stage Dive. Stage Dive lets you basically dive down anywhere on the map.
I don't play. Stay away.
And you do a big chunk of damage and a slow to anybody that you actually hit with that. We're going to be going through his different talents at different stages, and I will try my best to see if I can actually keep things up to date. Let's see. We are actually going to be going through cooperative.
Bring the mega death.
Because, specifically, quick match is a complete mess right now. I try not to do quick match right now because you get matched with anybody from all level ranges. So I'm in the mid-20s, and I'm constantly facing people that are, I think, like level 40, player level 40, which is way above my experience level. And I'm also getting paired with level 1s. So matches are all over the place. It is a complete mess. I stick to cooperative. People in cooperative tend to be a little bit more laid back and take things less serious. We'll see. We're going to be on Sky Temple today. Capture the temples, hold the temples, and defend the temples. These are going to be map capture points we're going to have to be paying attention to as the match goes on. Here we are. For Sky Temple, we've actually got Tyrael as Madan. We've got Rhaegar, Nova, and myself. I'm going to go top, specifically because on this map, there's going to be a temple right here, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner. It's going to be a temple here in the top, a temple here in the middle, and there's a temple in the bottom. Now, the first ones to trigger are top and middle. And I'm going to want to get to them as quick as possible to help. Then it's bottom temple, then it starts alternating between top, middle, bottom, top, middle, whatever. It's random at that point. Now, normally, if I was doing a DPS build, I would be doing increased damage of power slide, damage slide, that second slot right there. But I'm actually going to be taking block. Long term, this is actually going to be blocking 50% of basic attacks. It stores up 2 charges at a time, and it periodically recharges.
I am all over it.
Now we are facing down bots in cooperative, but that's fine. I'm going to hide over here in the bushes and see if we can give... There we go. Face Melt, push him back into the actual slots. And this is where I get to play some harassment. We've got Lily and Kerrigan in the enemy lane. You're going to be pushing things a little too far there, Rhaegar. So you see, I'm coming out pretty much no worse for wear. Yeah, you're pushing your luck a little too far there, dude. We want to damage them. I am not going to be going into those towers. Back up. Yeah, see, he ran himself a little too low on health.
The sun grows within the temple.
Maximum that a temple can start to spawn is 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes, I think it is. So now, We are going to be coming up here to try to hold contention over this temple. I'm letting that Temple Guardian do as much damage as possible to them. I have to run down here real quick, hit the sippy cup, run back. This would be ours. Lily is pushing her luck. She is very low. We just have to hold off a little bit more. We are low on mana. Everybody gets pushed off the battlefield. And the whole point... There we go. Get that wind up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. That last wind up, the Guardians disappear. But that is what it's all about, holding the temples. Even if you do not push any lanes, you can win this map purely through temples. So at level 4, I'm actually got a lot of choices. I could give some AE healing to my fellow party members. We have nobody in mid lane. I'm actually going to go back up top and let them know. Ping. I have been taking... There's not a non-hero damage. This means minions and towers and everything else. However, I think a better use is Pawn Shot Guitar. Reduced mana cost. It cuts your mana cost in half for your self-healing. And that is a real... Got the whole team in the top lane. Nobody's soaking in the middle lane, so I'm actually going to go down here. I don't see the point in getting involved in a death ball right now. Oh, we've got Zagara has been pushing down here. Okay, at level 7, I could be going DPS, and increased range and knockback from face melt can be useful. However, I'm going to be going battle momentum. What that means is every time we use a basic attack, you'll see the cooldown timer on it tick quicker and quicker and quicker. That goes for all of our times. Let's see if I can actually take that out. There we go. I'm going to try and diminish some of... On my way. First,
That is almost interesting.
Rhaegar is coming also. Oh, we have our level 10 ability, Stage Dive. Yeah, we need to get over here as quick as possible. There is Zagara overextending herself. And now we're going to run up Raynor. This is where we go toe-to-toe with the Guardians and try and hold the actual temple as long as possible. By ourselves. You can see these attacks are quickly ticking down, even our ultimate ability on R. How about you guys help me with the temple? Worry about the boss later, guys. Yep, there we go. We got the last hits. Just gonna push Lily around a little bit.
Fades from my temporals, but it will return.
Okay, you really want to go... Let's take out that healing ward real quick.
Turned up to 11.
I need help down here, guys. I'm having to duck out. Let's get behind this. I'm going to recall and then figure out what's going on. If we look down at the map in the bottom right-hand corner, I can see that we've got Diablo alone in the top lane. Nobody is pulling in the middle lane. We've got a really bad habit for deathballing on this team, it looks like. They just want to roam around as a squad. And basically hunt for kills, which is not always the best thing. Yes, you can start doing that once you hit level 10. However, we would be better served getting someone roaming and doing camps and having Azmodan pushing a dedicated lane, but they're not doing that right now. Level 13, I really have a lot of options here. Movement speed is great for hunting down kills. However, I'm actually going to be doing the halves duration of disabled, Relentless, specifically because that cuts all disable abilities used on you in half, and that's powerful in the late game. Here's one. Cut in half for me. That was Diablo's ultimate. I'm taking a gamble that the either top or middle shrine is going to actually activate next. And there we go. Let's head up here. And like I said, just holding the shrines, you can win this game all by that factor. Because the shrines blast damage. You'll see the top towers are missing. Yeah, let's interrupt him so he doesn't get that push. And you see, these beams are doing damage to the actual keeps and forts. Let's duck out of the way of that real quick. I'm going to see if I can hold this as long as possible. If I can deplete the power on this. It's almost done. And we hop to the bottom to help out the team. That's why I like Stage Dive. A quick. Let's just mount up and cut her off.
The magic of the temple. Now you choose otherwise.
And I see.
I am all over.
I actually helped our Azmodan get a kill by pushing Raynor into it.
You've been training.
Let's take out some of these guys real quick. By doing this, we're actually using battle momentum. Whoop. Another talent comes up, Imposing Presence. Every time an enemy basic attack hits us, their attack is slowed for a short duration by 50%. This considerably impacts the actual damage output from folks like Kerrigan or Raynor, and many, many more. It also affects the attack speed rate, which means that they actually cannot take use of things like battle momentum. Their hit speed is slowed down. Let's give some attack speed buff to our friends. Now I'm actually going to duck back here for a second, and then there's Lily, their healer, down. Whoopsie, let's step out of the turret range real quick. I really do like the flexibility of ETC. You can actually build him as either a tank or a bit of a DPS. You can build him as a harasser, all sorts of great stuff. You can give him mobility or CC capabilities. I see two people running towards the top. I'm going to go to the bottom temple and signal that I'm heading to the bottom temple. I don't know where Tyrael's going. He's probably going to hit Sippy Cup. Yep, and he's going back. I've got Nova, our stealth assassin, on our team.
Don't have to tell me
Here
twice.
to help. Rhaegar hopefully has just cleared that camp and will go help with the temple. Unless he's just going to wander off and follow the knights. Okay, here we go. Interrupt that. And I am just going to have to stand toe-to-toe until the temple runs its course. And these guys actually disappear. Oh, here we go. That was a bad timing on my part. I'm trying to hold off as many of these people as possible. And I am going to be hunted down like a dog. Or not! Let's recall real quick. We did lose that bottom temple. It's fixing to expend, but so far we've only lost one fort to a temple.
Destroy.
It's not that bad a deal in the grand scheme of things. Hey, Asmodan, you want to come help?
Enough of my temple's power. Return to your war.
Let's see if we can actually help down here in the bottom lane with this tussle that's going on. Oh, Diablo wants to play, does he? There we go.
Kill confirmed.
There's Raynor down, the chase that we were going after. Let's clear out some of these actual minions and see. Up. Rhaegar is pushing very hard again. And he's got the opposing team. I'm trying to get a quick tick down on my actual ultimate. There we go. Let's kill that visibility of Zagara's. And I'm trying to watch where those blobs are going. I think that they're pushing the top lane. Attack buff for our friendlies, and the rest of them have recalled. Right now, let's, push too hard. Focus on survivability. We lost all our minions right here in blasting range of the core, so it started hitting me, which means it slows me down.
Anyone want to help out?
Asmodan is apparently AFK. This is one of the problems I've been having with this game quite a bit, is that you get a lot of people that do not commit to matches. They step in and then basically leave. We have a top temple that never got claimed. By the way, guys.
It seems a hero has taken my advice.
Aha.
Mr. Version.
So he has basically quit while being AFK for a long time. We're now working with an Asmobot. The rest of my team has just figured out, at least one of them has, that there is an actual temple here. I'm not going to have stage dive in time, unfortunately. I'm going to have to do my best to get up there as quick as I can to help Nova. Let's run, signal that I'm on the way, and see what we can do. This is ticking down. There's the final blast on the core. I wasn't even paying attention to how low it was. That was won almost entirely by temples, ladies and gentlemen. We did a little bit of damage to the core itself directly, but that's about it. As a tank in ETC, I did pretty good. I'm low on some of the numbers, but what they don't see is how much damage you have taken. In the grand scheme of things, though, that was an ETC match. Really am pleased with how that actually came out. If we go over real quick, that's me going up to player level 28. Let's just take a look. And a quick recap on talents.
Glory of metal.
I did block at level 1. I do think that you could actually use damage slide if you want to actually be a pursuer. I've never used scouting drone but once. And every time I used it in a match, it kept getting blasted. So I don't see scouting drone as very useful. This is useful if you want to be controlling minions and minion waves a bit more. But it only works on enemy minions. It does not work on mercs that I've tested. And it also does not work on towers or forts. This works on everything. Basic attack damage from hero basic attacks. Now, everything I say, this actually does not block fort damage, does not block core damage, it doesn't block minions. However, you could take this to reduce all non-heroic enemy damage by 50%, superiority. Instead of taking this, this would mean that a lot of your extraneous damage would get cut down quite a bit, and that might help. So this might be a good alternative at 4.
I don't play. Stay away.
We went down with battle momentum, basic attacks, reduce ability cooldowns, and that helps a lot. However, increasing the width of power slide means that you're stunning more targets as you slide through them. Loudspeakers is good. However, the farther you're pushing people back, that means you have a likelihood of pushing more people out of your teammates' AoE abilities accidentally. I did that once during the match, and it can kind of suck. Guitar Hero is good if you hit your heal quite a bit. You can hit that heal, and your next basic attack gets a big damage boost, and it heals you for a considerable amount. This is a good alternative. But this means that you can use all of your abilities more, and it also means that you can actually use Mosh Pit or Stage Dive more. I use Stage Dive for map mobility. Helps out greatly. We went with Relentless, specifically to cut down on...
I don't play. Stay away.
Specifically to cut down on actual crowd control, CC capabilities. I think Face Melt is a great alternative also, because when you hit people with a Face Melt to push them into your party, they're also getting slowed by 80%, which is real nasty. That can make a real quick difference in a fight. These two are useful, but Rockstar Aura is only triggering when you're using abilities, so it's more useful if you're picking up battle momentum. If you don't have battle momentum, I'd skip out on them. Head Crack is a great use at level 16. Increases the stun duration of power slide if you're going for a more CC ability. Guitar Solo means you basically get healed for twice as much. Stone Skin and Imposing Presence are usually the ones I go for, however. If we have more damage-dealing opponents on our team, like if we were going up against an enemy Nova, or a Witch Doctor, I'd take Stone Skin. But Imposing Presence is very useful to cut down on damage in general. And then at 20, which we never actually hit, I would have gotten Rock God, which means Stage Dive happens 50% faster, and it increases the damage by 50%. Very, very useful. However, if I would have actually had a problem with getting CC'd and getting chased down and singled out a lot, I would have probably taken Bolt of the Storm. Hopefully this has been insightful for you guys. Let me know. Can't wait to hear on the feedback. I'll see you in the next episode of Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.